This week, we talk about the animated feature from the mind of Kid Cudi, Intergalactic, and discuss if it would have been better as a live action movie. I'm Chad.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Jared.
You're listening to episode 76 of We Used to Talk About This at Work. So I want to play a little game with you guys before we do this. Jared and then Matt, I want you to describe this movie in your own words. Just a couple sentences.
Okay, so this movie is it's about an artist and his love life and his career. That's like the most stripped down version I could give to you.
Man finds girl, girl finds man, complications happen. Will their relationship, basically, will their relationship survive?
Yeah. If I were to play this game too, basically same thing. Like guy getting over a breakup, decides that he wants to be single, but finds a girl that changes all that for him. So the IMDb description is: after a chance run-in with his cool new photographer neighbor, Meadow, Jabari has to figure out whether he can make space for love in his life. Matt, what'd you think of this movie?
Okay. I have to break this down in pieces for you. Okay, I give you the bad first. If we base this solely off the plot, it's a generic love story. You know, two people meet. They something happens. They split up.
That's a disagreement, right?
Yeah, one shows up to an event or something that the other person's at. They fall in love. Happy ending. Okay.
Expresses their love. Yeah, we check all the boxes of the rom-com here.
Yep.
Right. So with the plot being out the way, of that being average, visually, the artwork of it, I love. It gave me a mixture of Arcania versus like Into the Spider-Verse. Like I love like the texture of the hairs of each person. Artwork, visually, musically, I loved. But the plot was just average.
I pretty much agree with that. I'll be honest, when I first started watching the movie, all I could think about was like it's doing like an Into the Spider-Verse impression, but it's not doing it as good. So at first that was kind of like, I won't say it bothered me, but I was noticing it. You know what I'm saying? But then after a while, I was like, let me just watch the movie for what it is, and I got over it. And it's a good looking movie. Not quite as good as Into the Spider-Verse or like Arcane or something like that, but it's definitely visually pretty. I like the character designs for sure. His shoes, his outfits, Jabari, his shoes, all of them, everybody looks pretty good. You know, the character designs, the friends, like the secondary characters are hilarious to me. It's a fun movie.
I love the Russian story that
that the one friend said.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
I agree with you guys. Like when I first saw the trailer for this, like, and I was like, okay, cool. This is like a cool, smartly animated movie about a Black protagonist. I was like, obviously we have to talk about this. The story was generic for me. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's rom-com 101 for sure.
Yeah. I do wish we would have. I don't really get that, right? Because it's like you know how expensive animation is, right? And like you get somebody like Netflix who they do piss away money, but they're still gonna take a chance and do like a Black animated whatever the fuck. Like, who's really gonna watch this besides Black people, right?
Right.
And it's like, this is the story we go with.
Maybe like we take because it was a safe,
and that's the problem.
a safe bet.
Yeah. And also,
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry.
No, I was just about to say it's definitely a safe story, which is weird because like I don't know if greenlighting this movie with like these characters is safe. So it's like if you're gonna greenlight, give us
Exactly.
something that's what I'm saying,
Exactly.
that's a little bit more exciting,
Yeah,
But I'm glad they
exactly.
made it. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm glad they made it too. Also, like, from what I understand, like, if you work on a comic book, you don't make a lot of money. It's not like you're working in the film industry, from what I understand. So, like, for him to be able to move into this new apartment that clearly is like you're living in a loft in New York, like all that
In
space
Manhattan. He's in
and brick.
Manhattan.
And it's like you shouldn't be able to afford that on just an like a comic book artist and possibly writer's salary. It
Yeah.
don't matter how swanky that comic book company is. It's like there's not a lot of money in comics. And like the only way those people make money is when they license their shit for like movies and toys and stuff.
Right.
And
Right.
Mr. Rager, it was not at that point, the character that he created.
Yeah, I totally agree. If you live in Manhattan and you live in a shoebox size apartment, it's gonna be a lot. So for
Right.
him to have a huge penthouse with like multiple floor, I think it was like multiple levels, you have to be making a crazy amount of money.
Right. And so like my thing is like, were we not talking about how he came for money? Like what is happening here?
You might be onto
Could
something.
be.
Well, although because his ex-girlfriend implied like, oh, you still working at the shoe store or something like you remember she said that you still
Oh
selling
yeah.
sneakers?
And that first was it that first scene?
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah, something
first
like
time
that.
he ran into her at the
Yeah.
restaurant. Yeah.
So now like
So
that,
I don't know.
yeah. I'm not saying I didn't like that, but like I really thought about that as I was watching
Yeah.
it.
One thing I thought about was like when he was on his bike, he never had a backpack, right? He either had a shirt on, right? But
Okay.
then wherever he went, he tagged some stuff. So I kept thinking, where was these spray cans at?
Where's your
Like,
right?
because like even when like at the end when he spray painted the McDonald's thing, I was like, where's the spray can at? And like when he drove away, he didn't have a backpack on. Are you pre-staging these spray cans, or are you like I don't know? Like that's the thing was like the small details. I was like, where are you putting the stuff at?
As somebody who used to actually go around and do that, I can tell you right now, you need a backpack.
Right,
You
right.
need a backpack. You are not putting spray cans in your pockets. Like it's not happening.
Yeah, I thought
Uh,
about that too, like when he was at the party. But also it's like you show up to so there, the final thing of like, oh yeah, this is how he expresses his love by like they broke up by this point and he goes to an event that she was aware that, her big event. And like he goes to it, he goes outside, he sprays, and then he leaves. It's like, bro,
yeah.
you're making her leave her big event?
I thought about
Yes.
that
I
too.
thought about
I
the
thought about
same
that
thing. Thought about the same thing.
because I thought it was going to be a thing where she makes her, or I don't know if she was going to make a speech, but I thought it was going to be something where, because remember before then she had that picture of Jabari and she was like, well, I'm not sure if he's going to make it or not. I thought he's going to, of course he's going to show up, but I also thought it would be something revolved around that picture. And then that's how they come back. But then for him just to do that and be like, I'm going to spray paint it. I know she going to see it.
I
Eventually she
know
going to
that
see it.
exactly. That's the same thing I said. I'm like, it's a big
Right.
leap in logic. First of all, that because look, as far as he knows, she's done, right? They're on the
Right.
outs completely at this point. So for you to just go in and then leave, she could just be like, damn, he just left my event. Like, this is a big night for me. So like
Right.
the idea
Right.
of you going in and then leaving and you just knowing that she's gonna follow you, not even
Yeah.
follow you. She didn't even see where he went. But the
Right.
fact that he like she'll see it outside of the event that she's supposed to be at for
Right.
herself.
You gotta go to the roof to see this though.
Yeah, it's like a big leap in logic. But I was like, it's rom-com, so
Not Carmen. What was her friend's name?
Just call her Vanessa Hudgens.
Karina. Yeah, she was like, she showed up for her. And then imagine like you show up to an event for your friend. Next, you know, your friend leaves, and you just be like,
Right.
"Oh, okay."
I mean, I feel like it's not rom-com, but I feel like a better ending would have been like we as an audience see that he made it so that she's giving her speech, but she doesn't see it. And then like she's making the rounds and she stops at the photo that she decided to keep in her exhibit. And like either they have a conversation there or like the movie ends there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
I
Something
agree.
realistic.
Both either way would be better than what they gave us.
Yeah.
Because it felt rushed and it felt like they just needed like, because all rom-coms have the thing where it's like, you know, oh, I'm gonna go run to the train station and stop you before you get on the train or whatever, that type of thing. So this felt like it was just super contrived and like it was the end of the movie, so they needed to get back together, but they couldn't quite find a way to do it, so they just had them do this. And another thing is the dating app thing. I was just kind of like,
yeah,
because
what's
they kept
the point of
mentioning
that?
it. I don't know. Like I was thinking, like maybe this is a real thing, like a real dating app that's tied into this, like promotionally or something. And then I was like, at the end of the movie, when they did the thing where it was like it was a scam, I was like, okay, that's clearly not what this is. So why is there so much emphasis being put on this dating thing? Like it didn't really play a role in the movie. I was confused.
Yeah, I really thought that it kept coming up. I thought like eventually he was gonna get on the app and like see like his ex and also Meadow. I thought that's where we were going with this, or like when his coworker brought the app up, I thought he was gonna match with somebody that he knew, but it's just like, okay, like dating apps are good and bad, more bad than good, but I don't really get that.
Yeah, I was very confused about why. It's fine if it was in there, like if they mentioned it in passing, but they mentioned it like at least 12 times. Like it was on every street scene. Like there was billboards for it. In the cab, it was billboards for it. Like on the TV. Like so, when it didn't pay off or nothing came of it, I was just like, why is this in the movie? Like I didn't get that at all. But it was a lot of parts in this movie where I like laughed out loud.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ty Dolla $ign was he was good.
yes, he was.
But speaking of that, I didn't know, like you brought up Vanessa Hudgens. I didn't know like all the different stars they had in here. Like, did you, without looking, could you tell that Downtown Pat was Macaulay Culkin?
No, like I didn't know. Only before I saw this, the only people I knew who were in it were Kid Cudi and Williams. What's her name?
Jessica
Williams. And then like I was just looking people up as I was watching it.
Okay.
I went in completely blind. I didn't watch a trailer or anything. And I knew it was Kid Cudi's voice. Well, I think the music, I think they played some of his music before. So I had just heard his voice, but I recognized his voice, but everybody else, I had no idea who what the voice actors were.
Also, Jaden Smith was in it too.
Yes, he was. He was the kid that was at the skate park complaining about talking about how he just broke up with his girlfriend, but he's basically ghosting her.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like this would have been better suited as live action?
No, I think it's fine as animation. I think it would be. I would guess that I would say it might be better as animation, just because this was so fantastic. Like
yes, because the plot is not good enough for it to be live action. Because if it was live action, we would have just been like, oh, this is just a generic ass rom-com. Now this still is a generic ass rom-com, but the visual of it makes it so much better.
Yes,
that's a good point. No, I agree. Like I was watching, I was like, yeah, these visual flares do add to it. Also, guys and gals listening to the show, in your phone setting, take it off of it where the text messages come straight to your screen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't leave, because mine just says text message. It don't actually says what it is.
Like my shit is like, if I get a text message, my screen doesn't come on.
Mine does it, but it don't say.
Okay.
Yeah, mine says like text message. It don't say it was from. It just says text message.
I get what you're saying, but it was like no. The only time I need to know I got a text message is if I actually look at the phone. Like no.
Oh.
I don't feel like the ex-girlfriend did anything wrong.
I thought about this after I got done watching the movie. She didn't do anything wrong, because technically they weren't Meadow and Jabari were not together. They
Right.
were
Yeah,
seeing each other, but they weren't together. So
And also
Car-
even if-
the very
Yeah.
last conversation Carmen had with Jabari was, I'm on this single boy life. This is hot boy
Yeah.
summer.
yeah.
right.
So
That's what I was about to say. Plus, even if they were together, even if him and Meadow were together, she didn't know. So it's
Right.
like it's not
Right.
like she was intentionally doing it, even if you know what I'm saying.
Right. And
And the thing
also
is, she wrote that to him, meaning like she was joking with him. He knows that he didn't have sex with her that night. So when she
well,
was
no, yeah.
like she was joking with him. So yeah, she didn't do anything wrong in my opinion.
But then also, like, I'm turning this back on him because it's like you still went over her house. Like, so what is she supposed to think of that?
Well, he did say they were friends.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. But what I'm saying is, at no point was he like, oh yeah, I'm regularly fucking this one girl. Like you spent time with her that day. It's not like he went over there, saw the rat, ran out, and went home. I feel like they hung out for a little bit that day.
Possibly.
I mean,
Even though we didn't see
possibly,
it. Like, you're not just gonna
Possibly.
take the time to go all the way over somebody's house and then run out.
Could be.
So yeah.
Well, also, I don't think the movie was really like portraying it as she did something wrong either. Like, I kind of like how they played it. Like, they didn't like villainize her. So I thought that was pretty good, at least.
Yeah, I agree.
Because a lot of times the ex is like intentionally shitty.
I'm
glad they didn't do that. And she had a fat ass forehead, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like, she's 10. She got that Tessa Thompson. I'm like, damn.
I feel like that was fucked up. Like, they hooked up and then she like, oh, my mom on the phone. Like, the fuck you mean?
Dude, I said the same thing.
Right.
I'm like, damn, she ain't even, she just handed him the phone. I'm like, that's crazy.
Wasting no time to just
That's the only thing
reestablishing it.
She picked right up where they left off.
Right.
All right, did y'all guys dislike, or didn't care about the whole break into chapters part?
It was more than 2 chapters.
No, I'm saying like, did you? No, I'm saying the break into chapters.
Into chapters.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't think that was too bad. I was like, was this supposed to be a show? And like the chapters were the episodes? It's like, I didn't understand why we were doing that, because like the first episode was like the dog whistle. And so I was expecting like some racist shit to happen, and it didn't.
Me too.
But then in the second episode, some racist shit happened, but it wasn't a dog whistle. And the title reflected the racist shit. So I was like, I don't understand what's happening with these titles.
I think maybe it was like they were trying to do a comic book thing with the chapters, but comic books don't really have chapters though. So I don't I'm not sure what that was about. Maybe it was supposed to be shows or shorts.
Because when I thought about it, I was thinking of like a Quentin Tarantino movie where they break their little stuff up in chapters and stuff.
Real quick, I like the part when so she's like at the exhibit, about to set up her exhibit at the end, and like it's the other artist there, and she's like she's talking to her or whatever it is. She's like, let me go get back to this white man.
Yeah.
I don't know why that shit made me laugh so hard.
Hold on, that got me thinking, who was that? Who did her voice?
I think she's a rapper. I was like, I don't know who this is, but you look like you probably rap.
Yeah, she seemed familiar. Like that's one thing that I did like about the characters, was like they felt like actual characters. Like I could see each of them being like a real person.